And we're live with another TNT 5 Minute Friday. Welcome back after a couple weeks away. We're really excited to be coming off our Clean Tech Summit with the winner of the summit, Steven Siciliano. Welcome.
Oh, welcome, Jesse. Nice to see you virtually once again.
Yeah, always great to see you, Steven. We're looking at around $588,000 being raised for 5 companies from the Clean Tech Summit, and EMS, also known as Environmental Material Science, run by our lovely guest here today, Steven, was our winner. And tell us a little bit more about what EMS does.
Yeah, so EMS develops solutions to sustainably remediate hydrocarbon pollution across the prairies, and we do it in a way that saves 99% of greenhouse gases, reduces water use by 95%, and most importantly for me as a soil scientist, saves that soil. It doesn't, we don't have to ship it up or dig it up or destroy it. So it allows our customers who manage operational facilities, and everyone on this call has probably seen those facilities or used them when they filled up their car or just driving through the city. It allows those people, our customers, to continue to sell their product. It reduces their cost, and it's almost invisible. So it's a great way to make a sustainable business in which you can actually clean the soil and continue to operate as a business.
Yeah. And Steven, you're not just any scientist, you're definitely one of the best in the world. And I know you're really passionate about climate change and clean technology. What made you want to come into our Clean Tech Summit?
Well, I think that the Clean Tech Summit, first off, is a lot of the connections we made. I mean, just today I was looking at an opportunity in the north, and I'm like, geez, I think Leaf Solar might be able to do this because their stuff's amazing. So it was that opportunity to talk with different people. And also I felt that our technology was a good fit for clean tech. And I think that it was a great experience all around, certainly.
Absolutely. And yeah, you're reducing greenhouse gas emissions, and our investors are really excited about the opportunity with your business. And we're really happy to be able to talk about you as our winner from the summit. And what else have you found as sort of the big benefits of coming through the process here with TNT?
Well, the big benefit through the TNT process is it really gave us a worldwide profile. So for example, one of our key suppliers, which is a German supplier, actually saw our clean tech win. And so they reached out the very next day and say, hey, congratulations. And oh, we have this new detector. Would you like to try it? And we were like, absolutely. And so that's on its way right now from Germany. So that was fantastic. It also helped because in the prairies, quite often we don't necessarily get the attention we deserve from the West Coast, or the left coast, as we would call it, and Toronto, the center of the universe. And so those people see that, and they some of those people there reached out to us and said, "Hey, this is really interesting. We'd like to hear more about it." And so it's been a good opportunity to expand our network of both investors and suppliers. And so that was a tremendous boost for us, both operationally and in the middle of our current raise.
Amazing. So great to hear. We're actually going into our spring summit here coming up, and we've got lots of companies applying out of Edmonton, Calgary, and Saskatchewan. Any advice to them as they think about maybe wanting to raise through the TNT Summit?
I think I would say that the TNT Summit is excellent because they provide clear and quick feedback. And they're also, because there's so many investors from different perspectives, the level of, are we allowed to say bullshit? Well, we're going to say bullshit. The level of bullshit is actually lower than you might get from a normal VC, because the worst thing that's going to happen to you is VCs aren't going to say no. They're going to give you that soft no and then eventually pull out. Whereas TNT is pretty clear, where they're like, no, you're not ready yet, but here's how to get better, versus, hey, we still want you to proceed. And so that was incredibly helpful. And that's what I would say is that as you're thinking about that, because if you're like me, you made a great product and you have a great team, and then you're entering this weird VC world, and those people have a different ideas about what it takes to scale and what you should be thinking about. And so that TNT process will really help you perfect that business. Well, maybe not perfect, but improve your business model to think about, oh, how could we roll out 10 or 20,000 of these?
Yeah. Something I know we've talked about a lot, Steven, is the challenges of building companies out here in Saskatchewan, and particularly in the clean tech and hardware space. What are some of the challenges you're facing, and how can maybe folks that are listening to us here today maybe find ways to help you overcome?
Yeah, so our biggest challenge right now has to do with hardware supply chains and how far out they are. So for example, right now we are ordering microprocessors for 2023 So we're looking at about 15 months before we're going to get any revenue from these microprocessors. Also, the microprocessor costs have gone, from an example, from $10 to $68 a microprocessor. Now, there's two issues here that are important. The first is a cash flow issue, because what startup or what emerging company is going to be able to park a large sum of cash for something they're not going to get revenue for 15 months? But there's also another issue, is that if you wait and try to get your microprocessors closer, what ends up happening is quite often the one you want is not in stock. And so then what happens, you have to buy what's in stock, and you have to reprocess your board to do exactly what you already knew it could do. And so you're wasting your innovation edge on redesigning and redesigning. And in contrast, being able to get those processors, lock in, that allows you to work on your next gen,
Yeah.
and spend your money there. And what's really needed is some way to help the emerging hardware and electronics companies that are in the prairies be able to have that sort of capital easy to get. It has to be super patient. This isn't VC capital. It's some sort of line of credit. I think like a builder's mortgage, right? Okay, we poured the foundation. We just need this much. Because what most smart companies do are identifying those key products that are running out of stock and getting those in early. And this is only going to worsen, I think. The Shanghai lockdowns are continuing, as everybody knows. There's still war raging in Europe, and that's causing massive problems across PCBs and mechanicals. So that would be really helpful. And I worry that if we don't get that support, what's going to happen is we're going to start to lose startups who are simply going to run out of runway and crash.
Yeah.
Or we're going to fall behind because our great engineers, they're not going to be working on the next gen thing. They're going to be trying to figure out how to do what they already know how to do with a new processor that's not even the optimal one. So those are the two things I think will just really help us I think it's nationwide, but in the prairies in particular, because we don't have as many deep capital pockets around, that would be incredibly helpful.
Yeah. I think it would be really great if Canada could do more to kind of integrate the supply chain right here at home and bring some of these jobs back to the country as well. So.
Yeah, if they could do it without requiring me to put my house up. I'm not sure why BDC wants my house. It's like a 70-year-old bungalow in Saskatoon, but man, they really want it. Yeah. And so I think that if we could work out some ways that would allow tech startups to do that without BDC acquiring people's houses across the prairies, that would be a great solution.
Yeah. Well, just to be clear, from my understanding, BDC is a great friend of TNT, and they have never actually, as far as I know, taken anybody's home away. They are very good to work with it, but I definitely understand the frustrations there with that. Stephen, I know, so you've got this money now, and you're looking to fill up the rest of the round as well. And I know that you've got some great leads, but what are you working on? What are you going to be using this money for? What's next for EMS?
So EMS is, we have our remediation vertical. So we're using this money to supercharge our sales territory. Our idea is to finalize up our Saskatchewan and Alberta sales territories here in 2022. And we're hoping to move into North Dakota and Montana in 2023. EDC, as well as the STEP program here in Saskatchewan, has really helped us map that out. It's capital intensive, but we're pretty excited to do that. And I think that that's what we're going to be using the TNT money for. It'll allow us to really sort of accelerate our sales and build a really successful business.
Awesome. Super excited. Moving into the US. Love to see it. Great things happening in clean tech in the Western Canada right now. Stephen, if people want to get in touch with you, how should they go about doing that?
I'm on LinkedIn. They can also reach out directly to EMS, Steve Siciliano at ems-inc.ca. Happy to always chat, always looking for innovative suppliers and networks. That's, I think, the real benefit here in the prairies, is that there's a lot of people who have what I'll say various components or various ideas about how to use things that are often innovative based on what they're seeing. And that can be really helpful for creating sort of that consortium. In fact, right after this call, I'll be chatting with a startup based in Edmonton that's really developed a world-leading water sensor. And we're like, oh, maybe we can use that too with our platform. And so those sort of connections, we're always happy to. And I will say that is one of the great things about TNT, creating those networks, because it's those networks that will allow the entire ecosystem to thrive.
Absolutely. And that's a great place to end off. Love it, Stephen. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us today. We're definitely over the 5 minutes, but that conversation was a lot of fun. Lots of great nuggets of wisdom in there in just a few minutes. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your Friday and enjoy your weekend. Take care.
Bye, everybody.